welcome to another Tuesday Tips. My name is Pam Dunwell. I am one of two of your nurse advocates from Your Nurse Advocate Consulting. Today's topic is very near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about how in the world do you try and salvage the relationship with your siblings when all coming together to care for an aging parent or parents or even grandparents. And this has torn apart so many families. Linda, my partner, is going through this challenge right now. Her mom's not doing well. She has a sister that does not believe in end of life cares such as hospice or a do not resuscitate. And so it's really causing a lot of challenges with her family. So we're going to spend a few minutes today. This is such a big topic with us. We've even created a course. We only share this a couple times a year because it's a pretty big course. If you're watching the video on the replay, I'll drop that information to get on the waiting list for the next time we go live. And we spend a lot of time looking at the dynamics of siblings and where you are in the birth order, relationship with your parents, and giving you some tips and strategies to try and maintain that relationship and make sure that everybody feels that they're pulling their fair share, their full weight. Nobody's getting upset. Somebody lives out of town and they're bitter because they can't be helping, taking mom to the bathroom or washing dad up. And so we're going to touch a little bit on all that. So let's go ahead and let's jump in and get started. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started. All right. Here we go. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. And, the first thing is we want to start that conversation early. When the time has come and depending, somebody's going to have to take charge. And in our family, I am one of five. I'm the oldest of five. Linda is the oldest of six. And so I have two sisters and two brothers, and Linda has four sisters and a brother. So sometimes that oldest person just needs to take the lead because sometimes the siblings expect you. You're the oldest, you know what rolls, to you first. So somebody's got to take charge. And the biggest thing is start the conversation early as far as, hey, we need to have a conversation. Mom and dad or both are struggling a little bit. I'd like to get a little ahead of the game. Let's start talking about what caring for mom and dad would look like and start the conversations early. And, you want to listen to each other. You want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Everybody is allowed to express their opinion. And so that everybody kind of gets their cards out on the table, judgment free. You may not agree with them, but that's not important right now. Right now, everybody needs to feel heard. They need to get their thoughts and ideas out there. So once everybody's kind of ideas and where they sit on it, you can start to begin the compromise process. And we're going to talk a little bit about what is the most important thing when you're considering how your siblings are going to come together. Disagreements can arise, but communication and compromises are key. So we talked about listening to each other. And so here's the huge tip. At the end of the day, what's the most important thing is the fact that you're aging, what your parents' wants and needs are is ultimately the most important thing. I could, for example, my mom doesn't believe in hospice. She wants to be a full coach. She wants everything possibly done. And being a nurse and being an advocate for hospice and end of life cares, I want her to be comfortable and I see the benefits in hospice. But, I can have my opinion and I can express my wishes, but when it comes right down to it, all the siblings need to agree that what mom or dad or they both want, that's the most important thing. It's not about what we want. It's about what they want. And the best way to get that cemented in so that nobody can question that is to make sure your parents have their wishes in writing, whether it's an advance directive, a living will, a healthcare power of attorney, whatever that might look like. They need to have those wishes in writing because you can always fall back on that. Again, somebody, some of the siblings may have difference of opinions, But if their parents, your parents have it written down how they want things to go, then the bottom line is all the siblings need to rally around what they want, despite what our opinions are. The importance of communication. I am a sibling who lives 4 hours away from home. All of my other siblings live close to my mom. And I'm not, I'm the nurse. I have a sister that's a nurse practitioner. I have a sister who's in accounting, a brother who's a carpenter, and another brother who manages a manufacturing division of a company. So, very diverse background. And so, communication is really important. Whenever we've got a situation that comes up with my mom, we schedule a Zoom. We usually do it early on Saturday morning so that everybody can go about their day. But certain things just have to be communicated, because if someone feels left out, or like me, it'd be very easy for me to feel left out of my mom's care because I'm so far away and all my brothers and sisters are there. But we work things out, and we talk, and we capitalize on each other's strengths. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute when we're talking about sibling zone of genius. So again, communication is important. Find a way that works, whether it's conference calls, Skype, Snap, going on a Snap video or Zoom, whatever works for your family, and maintain that communication. So common disagreements that come up with siblings is, number one, what level of care the parents need. One sibling may say, no way, no how is mom or dad going to a nursing home. One sibling says, you know what, I work, I have a family, I'm busy, I have a lot of responsibilities. There's no way that I can pitch in or care for them or have mom or dad move in with me. I don't see any other option to have them placed in a nursing home. So these are some of the things that are going to come up. Again, like Linda, one sister says no hospice. They want everything, possibly done, but yet their mom is tired. She doesn't want to go into the hospital anymore. She just wants to stay at home and be comfortable. So that creates a lot of discord. But again, if everybody is focused on what the parents want, you can come to terms and make some compromises. One of the other common disagreements that comes up is conflicts over finances. How are you going to pay for care? Oh, if I live 4 hours away and I can't be there to help, well, I better kick in some money so that they can help provide caregivers. And it's all in the delivery. Again, if the siblings are going from the perspective of it's all about them, then there's going to be problems, because everybody wants their own needs met. If you make the conversation all about what's best for mom and dad, what do we all want for them, it makes the conversation a little easier. So maybe that sibling doesn't want mom or dad to go in a nursing home. Okay, so what do we need to do to make mom and dad safe as possible in their home for as long as possible? What does that look like? This is a good time too. If your family is really struggling, look for some resources. A nurse advocate such as is our company, or a mediator or a social work, something, connect with the hospital. Not that we're the end all, but this is a perfect opportunity to have a nurse advocate come alongside you, help mediate, and be that go-between, be that independent third party that could have these conversations with you and your siblings, to be able to walk you through some of these things from an unbiased perspective. Sometimes people will understand and learn and take things better from a third party than they would their siblings. I mean, you could, as siblings, you could come to the table with a lot of baggage, from when you were kids, something that maybe happened when you were in high school. So there's a lot of things that play into that. So you want to make sure, again, what's best for your parents, and look at what the results, and then kind of engineer reverse backwards on how we make this happen. And again, reach out to resources. You don't have to go this alone, and you don't have to struggle. The third thing that is very common, and what we talked about in Linda's situation, is the differences in opinions when it comes to end of life decisions. This is a big one. This is huge. And again, we have to look at our own feelings. Are we being, and I don't mean to use the term selfish in a bad way, but Are we being selfish in the way that we don't want to let mom or dad go? We want to do everything that we can because we're not ready. We're not ready for them to go. So we want everything done. We want the CPR. But if any of you have seen it, I encourage, if this is a struggle, go ahead and Google a video on CPR for an elderly person, hear the ribs crack. Just that's kind of like a rude reality, but sometimes people need to see what their aging parent is going to go through as an elderly, frail person going through CPR when they've had a long life. Now, I'm not talking about the 45-year-old who, has an illness or a car accident, and that's a different story. We're talking about an elderly person that's lived a full life, that their body is just getting tired and worn out. And do you want to put them through, a full code or full CPR? So these are the things that, again, listen to your sibling, hear them, and try and assemble the information to help them understand the other points of view. So we've kind of dribbled in some of the strategies for resolving conflicts. Again, do your homework. One of the things that works really well for us in our family is when we have it. We just recently had a family Zoom. My mom's having issues with her BiPAP, affording the setup above and beyond what what her Medicare is going to pay for. And we looked at what all the options are. Would she qualify for some assistance? Could she go on Medicaid? What do her assets look like? What do her finances look like? What home improvements could she maybe spend down some of her money? Could she prepay for her funeral to get some of her, expenses down? We have these conversations, and then each one of us, depending on our zone of genius, and we're going to talk about that next, what we feel comfortable as in our wheelhouse, each one of us had a task that we were supposed to look into. Now, my brother, the one that's in construction, his job was to go out and get a quote and find out how much money it would cost to pave my mom's driveway, which she really needs it. Me, as a nurse and in case management, having expertise in advanced life planning, figuring out what she would qualify for, what we need to do to go ahead and look at getting a referral to look at a Medicaid application. My other sister, she's helping my mom go to her doctor appointment. So everybody has a task, everybody has a role. And so here's another example. I live, again, 4 hours away. All my family members takes turns, getting meals for mom. I feel bad sometimes because I'm not close by that I can get her my own personally home cooked meal, but I got to get over that. I can't change the fact that I live 4 hours away. So I order her food, I order her meals, I send freezer meals like from the Schwann's man, which are no preservatives. They're homemade meals, frozen. They're a little bit more expensive, but I know she's getting healthy, good quality meals, and you can get single serving. So there's lots of compromises. Here's my plug. I love this company. It's Chefs for Seniors, and check one out. See if there's one in your area. This could be for a special occasion, or it could be ongoing, where you have a chef comes into their home. They talk to them, they bring the groceries, they cook the meal right there in their kitchen. They work around any dietary restrictions, and what an awesome treat, for your parents. So I just really love that concept. And so look for one in your area called Chef for Seniors. Okay, so those are some of the strategies for resolving conflicts. The big thing is make sure, number one, everybody's heard. Number two, gather the information that we need so that everyone understands the pros, the cons, the consequences of the choices. Make sure that everybody has a fair opportunity to contribute, and look. And this is where we're going to talk about, look at everybody's zone of genius. Everybody has a zone of genius. My zone of genius is I've been an RN for 40 years, so I'm very comfortable managing all the medical needs with my mom. My sister's a nurse practitioner. She deals with the doctor messaging on her MyCare chart, on her online patient portal. She has all the conversations with the doctors. My sister works just a couple of blocks from my mom. She runs home sometimes and has lunch with her, checks on her during the day. My two brothers live close by. They handle all the outdoor work, arranging for snow removal, lawn care in the summertime. My grandson, or I'm sorry, my son, her grandson, is in plumbing, and so he helps manage all the needs for the house along with my brother that's in construction. So everybody has something that they feel comfortable doing. No, not everybody's going to feel comfortable wiping mom's butt. And I don't know how gentle to say that, but we can't get upset with someone who's they're just that's not part of their comfort level. In some instances you can't expect a son to be comfortable doing personal cares for his mom. Some instances the mom and the sons would be fine with that, but other instances that's just kind of taboo in that family. And we have to look at your culture, your religious beliefs, just what your family is used to doing. And so there is something for everyone to do. Maybe that long distance person can arrange doctor's appointments. They can manage paying the bills online. There's if everybody looks and sees what their strengths are, there is plenty of things for everyone to do, no matter how close or how far away that you live. Okay, when siblings work together to care for an aging parents, they not only provide better care, but they also strengthen their own bond and create lasting memories. Again, this can be a situation that breaks a family apart, or it could be a situation that brings the siblings together and even fosters an even closer bond. And that's all how we handle this. Remember, it's about mom, it's about dad, it's about our aging parents. It's not only about us. Yes, we do need to be heard, but it's not about us. It's about them and what we have to do and what compromises need to be done to meet the needs of our aging parents. So just remain open-minded to other people's opinions, even if it's different for yours. It's important. Celebrate the small wins. When you guys come together and things fall in place and something goes right for your mom or your dad or your parents, celebrate that. That's an awesome accomplishment, for everybody. So, do celebrate those small wins. Those are really, really important. Last thing I'm going to touch on is self-care. People can burn out. Even when there's 5 or 6 of us, people get burned out. One of the things that I highly recommend is maybe for someone who is out of town, do check-in calls. That out-of-town person for the person that's constantly caregiving, they're the ones that are in the house checking on them. They're the ones maybe setting up the medications. They do a lot of the hands-on. Well, let them have a break. Let someone that lives far away maybe do check-on calls, a couple of times that day when one of the siblings just needs a day for me time. And that out of town sibling can do those call and then check-ins, and obviously can reach a sibling that's close by if something happens. But at least that sibling can take some time off knowing that someone's checking in with mom and dad and making sure that everything is okay. So make sure that you make time for self-care. It truly is a labor of love. So just want to thank you for considering all these complexities. Again, I'll drop the link in about getting on the wait list for the course. This is a huge undertaking. Please don't hesitate to reach out to your resources. And at the end of this video, there's ways of contacting us. You can catch us on all our social media channels. Consider hopping on our forum where we do everything speaking out and caring for our aging parents. And we really appreciate you taking the time. Please drop any comments in there. If you have a question, if you had a struggle with your family that I didn't touch on, please leave us a comment, and we will go ahead and address those. So thanks again for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen here, and just want to say thanks for stopping by. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us and joining us in the forum, and we'll see you back soon. Take care and have a great day.